le paysage français a radicalement changé dans la filière alu en 20 ans. J'étais fasciné en me plongeant dans le dossier de voir les éclatements, les rapprochements, les reprises, les fermetures, mais aussi des agrandissements, avec une formidable recomposition, avec des statuts d'entreprise extrêmement variés. Ça m'a frappé. On a des grandes multinationales, des fonds d'investissement, des entreprises familiales, une coopérative. On a vraiment une variété très, très impressionnante. Et je crois que c'est un peu aussi un symbole de la recomposition de l'économie moderne. Et puis donc beaucoup d'investissements, ce dont nous allons parler maintenant, avec 3 histoires différentes, 3 lieux différents aussi. Et on va commencer avec Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne. Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne, c'est évidemment l'un des berceaux de l'aluminium français qui avait été racheté par Trimet en 2013, il y a donc 6 ans. Trimet, c'est une firme allemande qui est née dans le trading en 1985, puis qui a remonté petit à petit toute la filière, qui a commencé en achetant une fonderie à Essen, dans la Ruhr, et puis d'autres sites rachetés à des grands groupes. C'est maintenant le 2e producteur européen d'aluminium avec 775 000 tonnes par an, près de 2 milliards d'euros de chiffre d'affaires, 3 100 salariés. Entreprise familiale, dont nous avons ici le dirigeant, Philipp Schlüter. Vous êtes de la 2e génération. Et Philipp, as you are German, we will speak English. First question, why did you decide, more than 6 years ago now, to invest in France? You can stand up, please.
Good morning. Why was the question that everybody asked us as a then very German company with only assets in Germany, customers only in Germany, and also a very strong German culture at the time. Our banks asked us, are you really sure that's what you want to do? Our customers asked us, are you really sure that's what you want to do? Customers that had been in France, that had then decided to exit France again, gave us words of warning. But none of them could convince us not to go into France. The opportunity presented to us was very strong. We had the ability to partner up with EDF. We got very strong support from the government, high interest from the government. Look, you need to change the pictures. Less talking. We had Minister Montbourg there at the time of signing. We had Emmanuel Macron there when we did our celebration to restart the F-line that had been idled, where we had a very big celebration. It was a step for us to diversify our risk of country, with the 3 smelters having a very strong German risk, especially in terms of energy. But it also added aluminium wire rod to our portfolio, which is the only product that we didn't have at the time, and markets that present themselves in the last 4 years showed that this diversification is very strong. There's a decorrelation of premiums, a decorrelation of costs, and that was very good for us.
Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne was a very old plant. Was it well equipped? Was it okay for you?
It's a very old site, I would say. I try to stay away saying that it's an old plant. It's actually, in terms of technology, the youngest plant that we have in our portfolio. We've got all 4. We've got Reynolds, we've got AluSwiss, we've got Kaiser in Förde, and now we've got aluminium AP17, AP30 technology, which is the newest of those 4. And it had been well maintained. Obviously, one of the lines had been idled. That was a very big task for us, but the plant is well maintained. People are very surprised when we come bring them stakeholders. We come to show them the plant, and we say this is a 112-year-old plant, to find that it does not look like it's 112 years old.
Okay, you mentioned your partnership with EDF. Could you say a little bit more about this partnership? How does it work?
It gave us obviously an access to discuss long-term power agreements, which is the key for our industry all over the world, and also a different way to discuss power as we've come to know it in the last 10 years of Germany. In Germany, we had an energy liberalization in '98, and have been buying power on the open market since about 2009, when old power contracts ran out, and that's a very different challenge and a very different challenging environment, and EDF with their expertise in the power market is obviously very helpful for us.
And they're also in your capital?
They're also a 35% shareholder, yes, absolutely, yeah.
So you bought this plant, this smelter. What did you do with it? Which investments did you make and why?
We've invested 170 million, out of which a large portion was the restart of the F-line, but we've been revamping bits and pieces of the entire plant. One big project was the supply chain reinforcement, investing into quicker movement of products. We invested into interruptibility of our plants, into the ability to help the power grid with fluctuating frequencies.
And you built also a second line.
No, we restarted a line that was idled in 2008.
And so you increased the production. You hired also many people.
We hired the figure there you can see on the chart. Since 2013, we've come up to 545 employees. We started at 420. 120 of those were new jobs, which is important there. And we've started to invest into our young people, doing apprenticeships for young people, and getting to know people and being able to hire people that you already know, which has worked well for us in Germany and is working very well for us in France as well.
When we see the two charts, one with production, one with the headcount, we see that you made also important productivity gains. So now, what is the future? What are the key indicators you follow in France for your next investments, for your future?
Yeah, we've had to look into the future. We have to look back maybe in the last 18 months. We've had a very difficult environment to face, in particular on the alumina front, with force majeure events and very high prices that have caused us headaches and cost us a lot of money. That's something we can't completely erase out of our minds. But also, we've been in France since the end of 2013. Long-term contracts are in place, but long-term contracts run out and time is passing. So we want to continue investing, but as you know, for industrial investments, they don't pay back within 1 or 2 years. They need 5, 10, 15, 20 years to pay back. So to get a long-term perspective, also from the political side of our business, is extremely important. We operate our business on doing sustainable business, and I don't mean sustainable in the manner that maybe an automotive company means sustainable, where you run a questionnaire and have to tick boxes about whether you run a corporate social responsible business. I mean sustainable in the sense that we want to run long-term business that makes sense. We are not in for the short-term gain. And to have long-term businesses, you need a long-term perspective. You need assurances that the framework in the country continues to exist and is certain. It doesn't help in the manner of Donald Trump, where he says something and he flies back to the US and says that was all a misunderstanding.
So you mentioned the question of sourcing, the question of prices of power, of course. One thing we hear very often in France, it's that we have very strong and maybe heavy regulations. As you can, of course, make the comparison with Germany. Is it a problem for you or no?
I wouldn't say power is a problem for us per se. Power is an issue for us. I would maybe say it's very different in Germany and France, as the power mix is so different. And the bigger headache, I would have to admit here, is clearly the German power mix at the moment, with our decision to exit nuclear power by 2022 and exit 1/3 of our coal-fired power plants by 2022. That is something that gives us a big headache at the moment. And that is obviously, when you say regulation, that is heavily regulatory driven decisions, but very political decisions. As you said, things have changed. We're standing here. Your introductory speech is about carbon footprint. It's about the environment. There's no doubt something has changed, but we are very much focusing on goals and very little focusing on solutions. I have the feeling at the moment, and we need to get back at the table with politics, with stakeholders, to find solutions to the problems at heart.
Thank you, Philippe.
Thank you.
Tout à fait intéressant de voir qu'on peut investir en France et que la question de l'horizon est évidemment absolument essentielle. Nous allons maintenant écouter